Singapore stock market has been on a tear lately, with STI pushing to a new record high, and this is rightly so, with billions already flowing in from MAS $5 billion revival plan. We've seen a strong 2-month rally unfold across the STI. But what if I told you that this might just be the beginning? I've been tracking the charts with my One Good Trend strategy, and a fresh batch of stocks are now flashing bullish signals again. These are not your usual names like the DBS and banks, right? And what I've uncovered genuinely surprised me. Let's dive in. This next phase could be where things can get even more explosive. Let's go. So I'm going to share with you guys 5 Singapore stocks that you can put in your watch list for potentially more upside as we head towards the end of 2025, right? Whereby we could see even more gains, right? Even though they've already moved up slightly, but there could still be more strength. So the very first stock I'd like to share with you guys today will be this company called Wehe Holdings. The code is E3B, trading about 0.765. So Wehe is a Singapore-based construction and property development company, right? With a long track record in building like public and private sector projects as well. It does what we call like worker dormitories, industrial real estates, through its purpose-built workers accommodation, right? So we built some of these accommodations, facilities for workers in Singapore, and this has been a growing source of recurring income for Wehe, right? So let's take a look at this stock. Technically, you can see over the past 5-10 months, right, it has been in a pretty good long-term uptrend just by looking at the longer term moving averages. The red line is pointing up, blue line pointing up. So the longer term trend has been up since like last year. In the short term, it took a little bit of a sideways movement from November all the way to July. But look at this right over here. We kind of like broke the resistance at 50 cents, right? Let me just draw this resistance right away. Somewhere around at 50 cents. You can see, right, we're consolidating below 50 cents. We broke it somewhere in July. It sparked off more upside momentum, all the way up. And over the past like month, where we saw a little bit of a resistance around that 75 to 76 cents, something like this already, right? So 50 cents was a resistance, and it started to push up all the way to 75, 76, and it started to move sideways as well. But what has happened over the past few days? Well, it seems like we are attempting to kind of like break the 75 to 76 resistance. It's only like one day. I mean, the market is still playing out right now. I'm not too sure when you're watching this video, but you can see that we are actually kind of like attempting to break this 76 psychological resistance level that we have been trading below for about 2 over weeks, right? Even though we have seen the longer term trend is up and the short term trend is still up. So a bit of an obstacle right over here at 76. And if I can quickly go ahead to show you my One Good Trend Pro indicator right over here, let me just go ahead to turn it on. And that's where we can get an opinion on any stocks, any asset classes in seconds, right? Based on the bullish or bearish signals that are shown. So let me just turn it on, 1, 2, 3, pump. And there we go, right? So you can see how it looks like for Wehe. Right, so I'll not go too far, but we had a couple of like, bearish signals coming out, and it started to sell down a little bit somewhere in December, in March. But look at this, right? As I mentioned, we got 2 1 GT bullish signals right over here. We broke the 50 cents, and there we go, all the way up, all right? And it is kept below that 76 cents. But, I think it looks pretty bullish still. If we can break the 76 cents or 77 cents and we stay above these levels over the next few days, that's where potentially targets could be raised, maybe all the way towards the 80 cents or maybe all the way towards the 85 cents resistance level as well. So that's where we could see more upside momentum, especially with the short-term trend still pointing up, right? So you put this stock in your watch list. It has been in my watch list for a while. Hopefully we get break this, resistance level. I think that's where we could see more upside momentum. Let's take a look at the second Singapore stock, and that would be Yanlord Land, right? The code is Z25, trading at about 765 right now. So Yanlord Land is a China-based property developer listed in Singapore. It focuses on what we call high-end residential and commercial property as well, right? In prime locations in major cities across China, right? So you see right over here, well, we got 2 1 GT bullish signals in Yanlord Land. Somewhere in May, we got the first bullish signal. Somewhere in July, we got another bullish signal, and it has started to push up. I know, right? It's gone up a little bit, right? It's a little bit more expensive, but I think there could potentially be more upside still. Why am I saying this? Well, you can see that over the past 2 weeks, we have been consolidating below this 75 cents, something like the we heard that talk about, right? 75 cents was a bit of resistance, so same thing, right? Over the past 2 weeks, we were trading below that 75 cents level from 70 cents all the way to 75, something like this, right? Right over here, 70 to 75. But you can see that today, all right, it seems like we're attempting to break the 75 cents resistance level as well. Now we are at 0.765. So I've set more alerts, right? I think if we can stay above 75 cents over the next few days, there could potentially be even more upside, maybe all the way towards the next resistance level at about the maybe 88 to 87 cents right over here. That was pretty much where we saw selling came back right over here in October last year. So we're kind of like, pushing towards the previous high we've seen in October last year. And of course, previously we got bearish signals coming out. Look at it, right? Bearish, and it starts going down, down, down. So normally when we see a bearish signal, we don't want to go in. We want to wait for more stability, more signs of reversal before getting in. So yeah, these reversal signals that came in, pump. We got two bullish signals. It's gone up from like 50 cents all the way to 0.76 right now. But I think more upside could happen. All right, we could see the next phase of targets pushing higher, all right, all the way towards the 88 cents as long as we stay above this new 75 cents support level, right? So this is Yen lot level. So let's move on to the third Singapore stock I'll share with you guys, and that would be Valuetronics, right? The code is BN2, trading about 82 cents. So Valuetronics is seen like a technology company as well. It is doing what we call electronics manufacturing services, right? It does what we call consumer electronics, even automotive, industrial and commercial electronics as well, all right? So more of like a tech play, right? A bit of a semiconductor play as well. So you can see for Valuetronics, we have been in a very strong, I would say, longer term uptrend since like last year, looking at the rate 100 days moving average line and the blue line 200 days moving average line. They're both pointing up, red above the blue, so longer term trend is good. All right, in the short term, we did see a bit of a sideways consolidation here last year. All right, got bearish signals, came down, but I think it really started to wake up like somewhere around May and June, whereby we got not one, not two, but a couple of bullish signals just coming out, pump right over here. And right, the reason why I'm looking at this up because we got another new 1GT bullish signal coming out over the past few days. So you can see, right, longer term trend is up, short term trend, we got bullish signals in May, right, turn up, flat, the green line went up again, flat, all right, and we were actually consolidating below this, I would say, resistance level at around that 80 cents. So 80 cents was a very key psychological resistance level, right? We kind of like touch it, came down, touch it, came down. We were kind of like trading below it for, I would say, about 1 over a month. We just couldn't get past the 80 cents, right? But what has happened over the past few days is that finally, we got a new 1GT bullish signal coming up. We broke the 80 cents. The next day is another confirmation, all right? And we're still above the 80 cents. Now it's 0.825, which is above 80 cents still, right? So I think it looks quite okay. If you can stay above the 80 cents, maybe I can turn this red line to green in color because that would be a new support level right now. So I think we can do a little bit of a projection in terms of the upside targets, right? From 80 cents all the way up, maybe towards the 85 to maybe even the 90 cents as well. That could be what we call the next upside target. So this is Valuetronics, not too bad, all right? As long as you stay above 80 cents, there could be more upside momentum, all right? And if you look at what we call the short-term trend, let's take a look at the 20 days moving average, right? So the green line, you can see, right, goes up, flat for like about 3 weeks to a month. But over the past few days, with prices breaking the 80 cents, look at the green line, right? It has just started to slope up as another confirmation, right? So we got all, I would say, signals aligned, right? Pointing to more upside. If price actions, hold and we stay above these 80 cents, potentially targets could be raised to 85 to even that 90 cents. So let's move on to the fourth Singapore stock for today, and that would be Yang Zhejiang Financial Holding. The code is YF8. All right, and Yang Zhejiang Financial Holding is what we call the investment arm that spun off from Yang Zhejiang Shipbuilding. So it focuses on like debt instruments, microfinance, a bit of private equity as well. All right, very strong rally, I would say, since May, July. We got two bullish signals. There we go. Longer term trend is up. The short term trend, right, was sideways from May all the way to June. But in July, the green line started to point up. And obviously right now, the green 20 days moving average line, it is still sloping up very gently, all right, very slow and steady uptrend. We are in fact attempting to maybe break the $1.10 psychological resistance level that we've been trading below for more than 1 to 2 weeks, right? So I think this is a very key level to watch, right? If we can break the 110, we stay above 110, targets could be revised all the way to maybe 120 or maybe even all the way to $1.30 as well. So I think not too bad, right? Bullish signals is still in play. We got no bearish signals right now still playing out. And what we can do is we can turn on the trailing support level. So this is a trailing support, one of the very powerful features of my One Good Trend Pro indicator. Let's turn it on and see what it says, right? And there we go, right? You can see that once I turn on the trailing support, you can see that when we had this 1GT bullish signal popping out in May, right? We saw this green line, all right, below the prices. This is what we call the trailing support that follows, right? That followed, I would say, Yang Zhejiang Financial Holding as it moves up from May, June, July, up, follow, all the way until it's around the $1 right now. So this trailing support can like follow the stocks and give it space to breathe, right? To hopefully move higher, all right? And it allows the volatility to play out as well, right? So it accounts for what we call any natural pullbacks. As long as we are above it, we're still fine. Obviously, you can see that we're still above this trailing support level. So this is Yang Zhejiang Financial Holding, right? Not too bad. The bullish signals are still playing out. We are above the trailing support. The short-term trend is still up. If we can break the 110 or maybe even 120, targets could be revised even higher. So let's talk about the last final stock. But before we do that, guys, if you want to get some of those top Singapore ideas, like what I mentioned, right? In fact, these are some of the ideas that we share with our VIP clients in Phillip Securities for free on a daily basis by WhatsApp, all right? So if you're kind of like trading, I mean, you have a trading account in Singapore and you don't get any service or advice or ideas or trainings from your own broker, nobody sent you anything, all right? Check it out. The link is right below the video. Click on it, find out how you can get some of my top Singapore ideas daily by WhatsApp for free, all right, at no additional cost. It's pretty much the same as whatever you pay when you're trading, right? So the link's right below, check it out, and that's where you can get some of these ideas much faster than the time it takes to do a video like this. And by the time you watch it, it might have gone up a little bit higher. Does it make sense? All right, so links right below the video. All right, check it out. Okay, let's take a look at the final, all right, Singapore stock. Like we shared with you guys that we actually shared our clients, all right, over the past few days. And this company is called LHN Limited. The code is 410, right? 410. So LHN is a real estate management services group that specializes in space optimization as well. Right? It leases and repurposes commercial, industrial, and residential properties. A bit of a real estate kind of like play as well, right? So this is LHN. So the price now is about $1. So very quickly, you can see that we have a couple of like bullish signals coming out in April, another one in May. There we go all the way up, and we were kind of like trading sideways, I would say, from that 78 cents all the way to the 91, 92 resistance level. However, over the past like 1-2 days, we got a new 1GT bullish signal that came out right over here, right? And we started to attempt to break the 91 or 92 cents resistance level. So not too bad. I think that's where potentially we could see more ups. In fact, it started to push higher. We have alerted some of our clients as well. All right, so the push higher. Targets could be revised maybe all the way to $1.10. I think that's where maybe we might see some selling or some profit taking coming back. So this is LHN, not too bad. We have seen a breakout above a key resistance level. The short-term trend, the green line, that was like going sideways, has started to slope up as well. Look at it, right? Started to slope up as well as another confirmation with the 1GT bullish signal. So not too bad. I think that's where targets could be raised, right? So you can put this stock in your watch list as well for potentially more upside. So there we have it, guys. These are the top 5 Singapore stocks that have been in my watch list for a while, right? We have seen new bullish signals coming as well, right? So you can put them in your watch list. As I say, if you want to get some of these ideas much faster daily by WhatsApp live as it happens, find out how you can become a client of mine in Phillip Securities for free at no additional cost. And I look forward to sending you some of those top ideas daily as well, faster. Joey here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.